Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. It's CLM Talks Hoops. Got a lot of notes for this one. I was watching this game with full intent for the full 48 minutes. Game 1, it didn't glue to me as much, but this one 100% had my attention. First off, what an amazing fourth quarter that we watched. Very, very, very physical, which we will get into a little bit more throughout this video, but that was an extremely physical game. You could argue a foul call for every single play on the Spurs and Knicks throughout that quarter. It's just what it was. But that's playoff basketball at its truest form. That is what any fan wants to see, right? We don't want to see people get, like, purposely injured. But, I mean, it's the playoffs, right? Like, everyone, especially people, old heads, you know, want to talk about the 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that, where they were preaching about how hard and physical basketball was. My goodness, I swear I did not see a single clean, like, play for 24 seconds the entire time during that fourth quarter, which was fine with me, you know, as long as they call it fair on both sides. But that was pretty much only in the fourth quarter. We'll get into more about in a little bit. Like I said, got a lot of notes. Trying to figure out where exactly I want to start off with it, but we'll go with the one that had my attention the most. There was a technical foul that I'm pretty sure it was either in the third quarter or the second quarter. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but that may be one of the most weakest technicals I've ever seen in my life, right? Like, I'm okay when, like, if someone's being, like, handsy and antsy and stuff like that, you know, if you got to throw a T their way, go for it. But usually in the playoffs, it's kind of like it's usually a double technical. It's always how it is. It's a double technical, and they'll move on with it. Maybe they'll give a foul call to it, but every single time it's a double technical. And the specific play that I'm referring to is the one that was Victor Wembanyama and Karl-Anthony Towns, right? This was a very huge momentum shift. And I'll tell you why. Because, first off, for the people that were not unaware of the play, Karl-Anthony Towns was fighting for position, and I believe Karl-Anthony Towns led with a little shove to begin with, kind of like, you know, get out of my zone. Wemby kind of followed back and did a full arm shove, and then Cat kind of did something else as well where he shoved a little bit. I say Wemby was most at fault for that. So when they stopped, and that ref, which I have written down right here, Josh Tiven, so if I know your name as a referee and you're not the crew chief, that's a bad sign. You know, Josh Tiven runs on the floor and immediately, you know, blows his whistle and tees up Karl-Anthony Towns, gives him his third foul. Why? Like, why would that not be? You either gotta let that go or that's a double technical, right? Because this was like a dead ball scenario. They were fighting for position. Why would you call that on Karl-Anthony Towns? I don't understand it. Like, that is one of the most weakest technicals I've ever freaking seen in my life. And that's not good for the sport. I just raved about how the fourth quarter was electric and they let everything go, and I was cool with that. But in the same game, you have an extremely weak call. And the only other weakest technical I've ever seen, well, I never seen it, but I've seen it in like a YouTube video, which, funny enough, involves the Spurs again, but it was against the Spurs, regarding the Tim Duncan technical foul when he's on the bench for laughing. I believe that was Joey Crawford. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Joey Crawford. That's going to be number one probably forever against all sports. Maybe someone in the comment section could let me know if there's anything worse than the Tim Duncan laughing on the bench. That is ridiculous. Other than that, Victor Wembanyama, I said that he wasn't going to have two bad games. I said that in the OKC series, the last game. That wasn't true in the first half. I actually thought that it was going to be like, wow, like, we're going to get two bad Wemby games. And he definitely picked it up. I mean, he had probably 20, I think it was 22 or like 24 points or 25 in the second half. That's great. Like, he finished with like 29 or 30 points. Let me double check here real quick for you. Yeah, 29 points. That's fantastic. But I'm not going to consider that like a fantastic game, which does suck because you look at these stats where he has 29 points, 9 rebounds, and like his stocks, I think he has 6 stocks, 4 blocks, 2 steals. Like, that's a fantastic game for anybody else, but it's not with Wembanyama. Like, he had a serviceable second half for his like caliber of play, but that first half was really bad. I believe he only had 4 shot attempts. I think he had 7 points, like some off free throws going into the half. That's not good. I've preached about it before. I'm no coach, but I was not a huge fan on just the exact play calling for Wembanyama. Not saying that like it's horrendously bad, because it's not as easy as it looks, right? Like, there's a lot of people, like fans, that like to say like it's just, oh, give Wemby the ball, let him cook. It's not that simple. Anyone with a brain can see that Wembanyama is definitely going through something. Not like an injury, but he just looks tired. He just came off of Game 7 with the defending champions, which is another physical series. A little banged up, probably. He looks fine in that standard, but I know he's tired, right? So they have not been running like all the sets for him. But what sucks is that when he's not getting involved like that, his whole calling is being able to be that guy that can kind of like space the floor and be like a safety on the offensive defensive side where he can go in for flying putbacks or a flying block, stuff like that. And we're not seeing that as much. And I think a lot of that is attributed to his tiredness. So, second half, however, he had a really good game. Or he picked it up again. However, he showed his age. I know a lot of people probably read comments about it. He's only 22. He really showed it. Personally, I'm not that mad at the Wembanyama turnover. I felt like him and Stephon Castle kind of like made eye contact, and then Stephon Castle turned around when Wembanyama threw the ball, right? Like I don't think it's 100% on Wembanyama, because even though he is like this guy that we know is a fantastic player to bring the ball up, in that scenario when you need a bucket and you're bringing it up the court and we got a very physical defense with the New York Knicks, the ball needs to be in either De'Aaron Fox's hands or Stephon Castle's. That's the way I look at it. Someone should have came back to him, or Stephon Castle shouldn't have turned around. Other than that, on the final play, you couldn't have drawn up a better play, in my opinion. De'Aaron Fox he got the ball up, and he had two defenders on him after he drove by and left Wembanyama wide open on a 22-footer. I think he kind of stepped in and made it around like an elbow jumper. Looked great, looked fantastic. Just happened to be a line drive that hit back rim. Obviously, as Spurs fans, whoever's watching, not the outcome you wanted, but at least it was a good shot, right? Like, I know when my team's ever been down, like, I feel a lot better when it's a good shot, even if it could be a wide open shot you missed it. You're kind of like, oh, damn, but at least it's not one of those shots where you got clamped the hell up and it looked rough. That is a good set play. Shout out to the coaching staff and De'Aaron Fox being able to run it. It just happened to not fall for you guys this time. One thing I'll try to mention for any Spurs fans that are watching this, being down 0-2, no reason to, beat around the bush here. It's not good. It's not good being down 0-2, but at least not down 0-3. And usually 0-3 is the death sentence, right? Because there's not been a single team come back 0-3. There's been a few teams come back from 0-2, right? My initial thing for you guys was Spurs in 5, because I saw how you dismantled my Thunder. My prediction was wrong. So we're not doing Spurs in 5 no more. At this point, I may just have to flip it and say Knicks in 5. But as an OG guest, Spurs in 5, I was wrong. With you guys being so young, I feel like there's like a hunger that you guys have that I saw on full display against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't care if you're 0-2. The way I look at it is this is just another game. And I feel like with Wembanyama as a leader, being that young, that's how it is going to be going into Game 3. You're going into a very, very, very loud New York Knicks home arena. You got how many stars, how many celebrities spending over $100,000 on front row seats and courtside tickets. So there's a lot of noise. I don't believe the Spurs will be one of those teams that will be intimidated by it. Like I said, I think Wembanyama is so level-headed and he has a good supporting cast around him that this will just be like another home game to them, right? They're used to this. The entire season for the San Antonio Spurs has been a lot of like ridicule and counting them out just because they've been so young. And now here they are going into a Game 3 for the NBA Finals, right? Picture isn't the greatest for you guys right now, but I'm not rooting for you guys to get eliminated this early, right? I do believe you will turn this into a series. I got a few other kind of like little weaker notes. First off, talked about the hero of Game 1, good old Josh Hart. 18 points, 18 minutes, 0 points. It's what happens when you go into foul trouble that early. I feel like some of them were a little questionable. There were quite a bit of questionable foul calls, in my opinion. But Josh Hart specifically was just playing very aggressive and was not getting rewarded. He took an open 3 and he hit the side of the backboard. Well, kind of like, next to the square on the backboard. So I kind of answered my own question on Game 1 of wanting to see him take more threes. I was wrong. I thought that his shot was a little better than that. I knew it wasn't good, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like, I didn't know we were near Ben Simmons levels of shooting when it came to that. But luckily, just because Josh Hart had 0 points, he still stepped it up on the defensive end when he could during those 18 minutes, and we had some really good games from the New York Knicks, right? Mikal Bridges was 7 for 8 going into the fourth quarter. He 100% cooled down towards the end. He took some questionable shots, is what I'd say. I know he hit 2 extremely tough mid-range faders, but in that fourth quarter, he had a wide open shot and a few shots that I did not like. He had one on Wembanyama where he kind of was on the baseline and he stepped back, threw up a shot. No, like I don't care who you are. That's a Jalen Brunson shot, right? Like that's not who you are. Now, if you would have made it, you just shut me up forever, but I think anybody knew that shot was not going to go in. You got to get more involved in the offense on that. I don't care if you're 7 for 8 during that time. It's just, that's not good. OG Anunoby just proving why he is so valuable and kind of cementing his case on just how valuable he was in that 2019 run. He was a young guy during that time. He still is relatively young. I don't even know if he's above the age of 30. Like, I feel like he's only been in the league for like 7, 8 years or something like that. But OG Anunoby is just the guy you want. Like, he has been a fantastic guy. I liked how aggressive he was. He had multiple plays where he drove into Wemby and blew by him, went up for a dunk or something like that. That's exactly what we talked about game 1 on. That is the best way to go against Wemby, is being able to cut him off on the angle and go up for a dunk. Those little layups, you don't have time for that, unless you can do a quick drop in, but usually you gotta be uber athletic to do that. OG Anunoby's pretty athletic, but he ain't no Dennis Smith Jr. or something like that where he can do something like that. But just using physicality against Wemby, I've been happy to see that. Coming from a Thunder series where we saw a bunch of baby back plays from Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein, having Karl-Anthony Towns and stuff like that, being able to actually box out and play physical, it's been good to see. It's a good learning experience for Wembanyama, you know what I mean? Landry Shamet, I don't really got enough good things, or not enough bad things to say about Landry Shamet. He's just been on an absolute heater. I know that he had an historic Eastern Conference Finals. I think he shot like 10 for 11, or maybe like 12 for 13. He only missed like 1 3. It was ridiculous. Hasn't been the same efficiency when it comes to that, but he's still shooting the pill out of that ball and he's playing aggressive. If there's anything you want out of your bench unit, it is aggressiveness, and that is what he's showing. He's not backing down from anybody. Those shots that he was taking in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavaliers, he's still taking them against the San Antonio Spurs. Does not matter if he has Stephon Castle on him, Julian Champagnie, Devin Vassell, does not matter who it is. He's going to take his 3. It's a quick trigger 3, and if someone's in his grill, he'll do a little fake out jab and do a step back for a 3. He did airball that one, but we're not going to talk about that. The other one was cash, so it's, airball or cash. We're going to go with that. One thing that I thought was very weird, please tell me in the comment section if you know the foul call ruling on this one. So everybody knows that they changed the ruling on how they gauge a shooter. They go up for a 3 ball. Who was it? Who grazed Devin Vassell? I think it was Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson did a flyby on a shot attempt, and his hand, when he chopped down and came down, Devin Vassell's hair, here's my almost bald head ass, sitting right here. His hair is right here, and his hand smacked down on the hair, and it that's technically a hair's a part of your body, so I get it, but it's weird, because the shot, it ain't like he was mid-shot. That shot was almost halfway up, about to, it was an and one, it was a 4-point play, so that shot was already about to go in. Do you think, honestly, that should be a foul call? Where, specifically because of his long hair, right? At this point, everybody should be wearing wigs and afros and stuff like that, because if you're able to go for a jump shot and you get swiped down on a dread all the way down here, that's a foul. And I don't know, I guess I would consider that a foul as well, because it's a part of your body. It ain't I'm going to assume that someone doesn't grow out their hair just to get foul calls. That would be some next level, Magnus Carlsen levels of Grandmaster chess plays, right? I don't believe that was the case, but it's funny that he was able to get a foul call like that and capitalize off of an and one and get the free throw. So let me know what you guys think about that. Like I said, I'm not too sure how I feel. One thing, talked about the refs and how good I liked the fourth quarter. Before that, it was horrendous. I will say that this was one of those games where, as not a fan of any team, I can kind of be less biased and kind of see who has the favorable whistle, and today was San Antonio Spurs. The fourth quarter, I don't think had anything to do with it that much. That was just an absolute heater that the Spurs went on. The Knicks were missing shots, and the Spurs were making their shots. It's that simple. I don't believe the refs had much to do in that fourth quarter. But I saw a stat that said the Knicks shot their first free throws with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter for the second half, right? That's ridiculous. For a super physical game, I'm glad they didn't call it extremely well because it was a physical game, but the Spurs had a lot of free throws. And I don't believe the free throw disparity was anything to be alarmed about. I'm confused and kind of surprised that their first free throws for the second half was with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. And that one, technically they had to use her challenge on. It was one where Champagnie hit OG's wrist, right? So them were their first free throws. So that's kind of crazy. They did get it off a challenge. And I don't know Jalen Brunson got free throws the ones that he missed to be able to even get that series to almost tie it. Other than that, one more thing that I'll touch on regarding Mitchell Robinson. As a fan watching this game, Mitchell Robinson is a hell of a player, and he had some meaningful minutes. But my goodness, when they did the hack-a-Mitch in that second quarter, or no, it was first quarter. When they did it in the first quarter, I wanted to turn the game off. Like, I really did. Like, it was that bad where I got to watch some guy whose, like, playoff percentage is 36%. I'm sure everybody's been in conversations where, you know, maybe they're at, you know, good old barbershop talk or talking to an older relative on, like, you know, like, we got NBA players making millions and they can't hit a free throw, right? I've heard some crazy ones. They should never miss a free throw. That's just statistically not possible. For Mitchell Robinson, I'm willing to cut it dead down the middle and say 50%. I want him to be at a 50% clip when it comes to free throws, which is still not good. That is awful. But 36% is abysmal. And I know he has that cast for his pinky that he broke, which I don't even remember. I think it's on practice. I don't know how he fractured or broke his pinky. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. His shot looks so damn bad. It is a line drive to the back rim every single time. I don't understand, because he's, at this point, he's kind of like a veteran. You know what I mean? He's been in the league for probably almost 10 years. I don't understand how your free throw's that bad. I think some people need to kind of dial it back on their pride and maybe invest in a new way to shoot free throws, right? I think as a Knicks fan or anybody who would have a bad free throw shooter on their team, if they are able to go to the good old granny shot and kind of have soft touches around the rim and raise their free throw percentage up by 30%, would you care? Because I know if someone on my Thunder was shooting 36% and then they started to go to some, you know, quote unquote sissy looking free throw and start shooting 70%, I don't care. I do not give a flying damn on who's taking the free throw and how he's taking the free throw, all right? I do not care. If he's hitting at a higher clip, that is cool with me, all right? Something's got to change. You know, even if they win this NBA Finals, right? I don't care. You know, get your parade out of the way. Dude, hit the gym, fix your free throw, because you are a beast. I am watching these minutes where he is a fantastic player. He's a good defensive threat. Everybody knows Mitchell Robinson's a block threat. The biggest issue with him was being in foul trouble. And now it's like flipped, where it's not that he's in foul trouble, it's that he's getting fouled to stop possessions for free throws. And that's just not good. You know, I thought that was going to cost him the game, but luckily just absolute terrific team play by the New York Knicks able to capitalize off of it. So, just, you know, that's probably my only critique for the New York Knicks is just one single player. Other than that, yeah, that was a really good game. Game 3, predictions. We're going into New York. Do we think New York's to go up 3-0? You know, I've been riding with the Spurs this entire time, so I'm going to say no. You know, I'm going to try to stick true. I'm going to say that the Spurs are not going to go out this sorry. They're going to get a game. It's going to make it a series. We're going to go 2-1 going into Game 4. Like I said, Wemby had a decent game. I'm going to assume he's going to have a monster game this time, right? Like, this is MSG. A lot of players have monster games at MSG, so I'm hoping it's a good one, right? I don't want it to be a sorry, you know, going down 0-3, because at that point, you're mental shot. I don't care how much of a leader you are. Nobody has survived the test of time in the NBA to come back down 0-3. I don't believe this team will. It just, someone's got to do it for me to even remotely want to consider that an option. And maybe the Spurs can do it if they go down 0-3. No, that'd be cool. First team ever. And in the finals, that'd be the most electrifying Game 7 ever. So that'd be cool. But yeah, we'll just go Spurs taking Game 3. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Other than that, that's all I got. Appreciate you guys watching, and y'all have a good one.